Why arteries harden as you age? Have you ever wondered why your blood pressure tends to rise as you get older? Even if your lifestyle hasn't changed that much, the answer may not be as simple as diet or exercise alone. Because deep inside your body, your arteries are changing. And these changes are happening slowly, silently, and continuously over time. By the time most people notice the effects, the process has already been developing for years. So what actually causes arteries to harden as you age? To understand that, we need to look at how healthy arteries are supposed to work. Your arteries are not rigid pipes. They are flexible, elastic structures designed to expand and contract with every heartbeat. When your heart pumps blood, arteries stretch to absorb that pressure. Then they recoil to help push blood forward. This elasticity is essential. It keeps blood flowing smoothly and reduces strain on the heart. In younger years, this system works efficiently. Arteries are soft, responsive, and highly adaptable. But over time, that begins to change. One of the most important processes behind this change is called arterial stiffness. As you age, the structure of your artery walls gradually shifts. The elastic fibers inside the artery begin to break down. At the same time, collagen, another structural protein, becomes more dominant. Collagen is stronger but less flexible. So as the balance shifts, arteries become stiffer. They don't expand as easily. They don't absorb pressure as effectively. And this has important consequences. When arteries stiffen, the pressure from each heartbeat travels differently. Instead of being absorbed, it moves faster through the vascular system. This increases systolic blood pressure, and it forces the heart to work harder. Over time, this added strain can affect the entire cardiovascular system. But structural changes are only part of the story. Another key factor is something called endothelial dysfunction. The endothelium is the inner lining of your arteries. It plays a critical role in regulating vascular health. It produces substances that help blood vessels relax. It controls inflammation, and it helps prevent unwanted clotting. One of its most important functions is producing nitric oxide. Nitric oxide signals the arteries to widen. It allows blood to flow more freely. But as you age, endothelial function can begin to decline. Nitric oxide production decreases. At the same time, oxidative stress increases. This creates an imbalance. Arteries become less able to relax. Blood vessels lose responsiveness, and circulation becomes less efficient. Now let's introduce another major factor, calcium. Over time, calcium can begin to deposit within the walls of your arteries. This process is known as vascular calcification. Calcium buildup is not the same as plaque made of cholesterol. It is more rigid, more permanent, and it directly contributes to arterial stiffness. As calcium accumulates, the artery wall becomes harder, less flexible, less capable of responding to pressure changes. This further amplifies the effects of arterial aging. But why does calcium build up in the first place? Part of the answer lies in chronic low-grade inflammation. As the body ages, inflammatory signals tend to increase. This doesn't mean you feel sick, but internally, the environment becomes slightly more inflammatory. This can influence how cells behave inside the artery wall. Smooth muscle cells can begin to act differently. They can transform into cells that behave more like bone-forming cells. And this is where calcium deposition begins. So in a way, parts of your arteries begin to take on characteristics of bone. This is one of the reasons arterial stiffness becomes more pronounced with age. Now, let's connect these processes together. As arteries stiffen, endothelial function declines, and calcium accumulates. The entire vascular system changes. Blood pressure may rise, circulation may become less efficient, and the heart has to work harder to maintain normal flow. But here's something important. These changes do not happen overnight. They develop gradually over decades, which means there is time to influence them. Lifestyle plays a major role. Regular physical activity helps maintain arterial flexibility. Exercise stimulates nitric oxide production. It improves endothelial function, and it supports better blood flow. Nutrition is also critical. A diet high in processed foods and excess sugar can accelerate inflammation. It can worsen metabolic health, and it can contribute to vascular dysfunction. On the other hand, whole foods, healthy fats, and fiber support vascular health. They help regulate cholesterol, they reduce inflammation, and they support endothelial function. Blood pressure control is another key factor. Keeping blood pressure within a healthy range reduces mechanical stress on artery walls. This helps slow the progression of stiffness. Sleep and stress also matter more than many people realize. Poor sleep can disrupt metabolic and hormonal balance. Chronic stress can elevate blood pressure and inflammation. Over time, these factors contribute to vascular aging. Now, here's something that may surprise you. Arterial stiffness is not completely irreversible. While some structural changes are permanent, function can still improve. Endothelial function can be enhanced. Nitric oxide production can increase. Circulation can become more efficient. And this is where small, consistent habits make a difference. Even moderate improvements in lifestyle can have measurable effects. Walking regularly, eating a balanced diet, managing stress, sleeping well. These may seem simple, but over time, they shape how your arteries age. Now, let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Arterial hardening is not caused by a single factor. It is the result of multiple processes working together. Loss of elasticity, endothelial dysfunction, calcium buildup, chronic inflammation. Each of these contributes to the overall change. And because they develop slowly, they often go unnoticed. There may be no warning signs, no clear symptoms, but inside your arteries, the environment is evolving. And that is why awareness is so important. Understanding what is happening allows you to take action earlier, before symptoms appear, before complications develop, because by the time problems become visible, the underlying process may already be advanced. The goal is not just to react, it is to preserve function, to maintain flexibility, to support efficient blood flow, and to reduce strain on the heart over time. Aging is inevitable, but the way your arteries age is not entirely fixed. It is influenced by daily habits, by long-term patterns, and by how well you support your body over time. So while arterial hardening is a natural part of aging, it is also a process you can influence. And the choices you make today can shape how your cardiovascular system functions in the years ahead. Because in the end, healthy arteries are not just about avoiding disease. They are about maintaining the flow of life itself.